In preparation of version 1.3 in Genshin, which has been confirmed in a recent Q&A with MiHoYo's developers, let's take a look back at Genshin Impact version 1.2 and talk about the characters that were introduced with this version, Albedo and Ganyu. Welcome back to the channel. Today, in preparation for the new banner and update in Genshin Impact, let's take a look at the characters and weapons in version 1.2 that you may have missed. Let's see if any of these characters were worth it, and if they were released again, should you aim to get them again. So the first character was of course Albedo, launched at the start of version 1.2 with the Dragonspine region, and straight away you can tell that Albedo was going to be the least popular event banner character in Genshin Impact. And many people definitely wrote him off for many reasons, including he never showed up in game before, like as a story character or anything like that. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's good to have surprises like Klee. But that was one of the reasons. The Dragonspine event that started with Albedo was rewarding, but it was also really dry. Not much story development, and the way it ended was just disappointing in my opinion. He was also another Geo character that was introduced, like released directly after the Zhongli banner. Like, come on guys. Geo isn't a bad element or anything like that, but it's definitely the least popular, and after Zhongli, most people just kind of wrote off Geo as kind of like a mediocre at best kind of element. Oh, it's definitely true to a certain extent, but I think we shouldn't write off Geo as a element straight away. We'll talk about that later anyway. Let's briefly take a look at the 4-star characters that was in the banner, and that was Fischl, Bennett, and Sucrose. And if I'm being honest, these three are arguably the best 4-star characters in the game, and it did motivate a lot of people to roll for these constellations on this banner. Fischl, the only Electro Archer in the game with great damage and support capabilities. Bennett needed the C1 constellation in my opinion to be competitive as a healer. And of course Sucrose, the best Anemo character if you didn't have Venti. Let's take a look at Albedo. The main course of the banner, a Geo Sword user that's classified as kind of a sub DPS character. He basically doesn't do the most damage, but if your main DPS character is either well down or low on health, he can also he can be used to replace that character. He can also be used to protect your main character as a Geo user because of his talents, which we will go through shortly. So let's have a look at our main squad as well. Alright, this is my main squad with Albedo. You can argue that you can swap out Bennett for someone else, but this is kind of an idea, so this is not like a concrete squad or anything like that. I have my main DPS, which is Tartaglia, my healer, which is Chi-Chi, Bennett, kind of that pyro user. I could technically swap him out for Dialogue if I wanted to, but I'm just kind of sliding him here, kind of like, not to say least unborn character, but he can be there just in case Child's low on health and needs healing from Chi-Chi, and let's say Chi-Chi just has to be protected, and I can just quickly deploy the Albedo or anything like that. Or when his energy recharge has completed, I can just use his Q attack or his ultimate attack. So the point is that he can slide into any squad very easily. That's great about Geo and I guess Anemo characters, is that they kind of slide into any squad very, very easily. Alright, let's jump straight into it. Let's kill some slimes. Alright, the big thing about his attack that I really like though, okay, we'll start with the standard attack, nothing special. Literally feels like Jean more than catching or like Chi-Chi or Xingqiu, or just feels like basically very standard sword work. Looks cool though when he puts his hand behind his back, but that's pretty much it. E attack basically causes this little flower. Anything that's within this circle, you can see this little circumference over here, gets crystallized every time you hit him. And that's really good. That's why he's really good as a support character. He just deploys one of them and kind of just use Bennett, and you get the crystallized effect as well. That's pretty much what his E attack does. It also has this elevator effect, so if you want to go upwards, try to reach some high, like Geolocus or an Ammo Locus or whatever, this is going to be a great tool to be able to reach them. So if you have a team that doesn't have that capability, it's always good to slide them in. So if you don't play Venti or you don't play, let's say, catching or anything like that, someone that will help you reach like higher levels, I guess, like not like literally, this is a great option. The downside to this is that if you put them here, like someone that's too close to something else, it may not deploy sometimes. It will show this little like jamming effect, and that's perfectly normal. It's not that your game is broken, it just means that you're too close. So deploy it back a little bit further and it'll scale right off for you. Nice and easy. Your teammates can use these as well, so it's really good for trolling. If you want to use it for trolling, you can kind of like deploy them far away. It's very good for someone like Klee because it allows you to throw bombs off this. So let's say if you're standing up here, you can just throw bombs towards the enemy, and it prevents. It's also good to escape stuff. Like let's say when you fight the geocube thing, when it starts doing the earthquake effect, you can kind of use that to escape that effect. Of course, the thing will disappear after some time. Holding E or whatever button it is on your phone, you can choose where this little flower goes. So you can put it, there is a limit of course, and it will just deploy and it allows you to scale. Really good E attack. The best thing about it is that the cooldown time is only 4 seconds, which is mental. So that's why we'll talk about the loadout later and we'll figure out something that's great for him. And of course we have his E attack as well. Let's quickly demonstrate that real quick to these poor fellas over here. Just trying to have their barbecue. Cool animation, critical damage, it's incredibly strong. It recharges really quickly. Look at my bar. I'm not even using energy recharge sword and I'm already halfway there. Which is great. So if you're fighting a boss or anything like that, you're going to be deploying that very frequently. Or a domain or something like that. You'll find yourself deploying that like all the time. Not even kidding. It's great. Okay, weapons for Albedo and see what kind of weapon will suit him. Of course, a lot of the weapons are part of gacha, so you just normally just get the strongest weapon possible, right? Well, if you don't have a 5-star weapon, let's find something suitable for him. We'll talk about the Submit Slasher Shaper in a second, but let's talk about what 4-star sword would suit Albedo the best. The best sword to go with Albedo is probably, as a 4-star, is the Festering Desire. Just because it gives you a crit rate boost and it also gives you an energy recharge boost. So it allows you to use your ultimate attack with a lot more damage. So you're hitting critical with your ultimate attack at the same time recharging it really quickly. So you're going to be doing it more often and a lot stronger. If you don't have the Festering Desire for some reason, I don't know why, or you gave it to someone else, another good option would be something like the Favonius Sword, because it still gives you an energy recharge substat over here, but it also gives you this. So crit hits have a 100% chance of generating a small amount of elemental particles, depending on what rank you are. I'm on rank 5. So if you have a really high crit rate, this is going to be a great sword to have. It's also the sword that was in the testing phase. The swords you definitely want to avoid are the Sacrificial Sword, of course. It's kind of pointless because it basically ends your cooldown straight away, right? Pointless because his cooldown is literally 4 seconds. I'm sure you can wait 4 seconds. And you can only do it once every, 16, 20, depending on what refinement rank you're on. So it's honestly not that great. On top of that, the Black Sword is not a bad option. It's kind of like an average sword for him. It's good for the crit rate improvement, but I think that's really the only reason why I would pick it. I would only pick it if I don't have the other ones, or if my crit rate is incredibly low. I'll give it to him. On top of that, if you're looking at 5-star weapons, there is the Skyward Blade that I have, or the Submit Shaper. Unfortunately, I do not have the Aquila Favonia, but between the two of them, they can work really well. The Submit Shaper is a good choice, but the chance of you having it is incredibly low. Most people don't roll for weapon banners, and I completely understand that. This isn't part of the standard banner either, so it's kind of a hard sell. It's good because it improves your shield strength by 20% and increases your base attack by up to minus 36%, but it improves your attack as well. A great choice, but if you don't have it, the Skyward Blade is a great option for the energy recharge again. It also gives you an extra hit as well and a very strong base damage. Remains, should you roll for Albedo if he does get re-released? Because you can't get him in the moment, but of course he will probably be re-released, let's be real. Is he worth it? The answer is honestly probably not. He is a good character, but if you're a free-to-play player, you definitely shouldn't waste your Primal Gems on him. He doesn't really bring too much that's different to the table. Not a very unique personality, nothing like that. Nothing that really stands out. He's just kind of there. So I would suggest saving your Primal Gems and go for someone that you really, really like. It's definitely not a must-have. Alright, moving on to the next character that was released and still available now, of course, is the Adrift in Harbor banner, which includes Ganyu, the more anticipated character in this 1.2 update. And let's get this out of the way. The 4-star characters are horrible. Let's just get that out of the way. 2 out of 3 of them are available available to any player. So Noelle comes as a free character, and so does Xiangling for clearing certain levels of the Spiral Abyss. So you can potentially get these 2 characters without even rolling once. And Xingqiu has been on the event banner before, and honestly, it's not that he's a bad character by any means. It's just most people already have him. So that means if you roll for this banner, it's just for the 5-star character. The opposite of what the Albedo banner was. So is Ganyu worth it? Let's find out. Alright. Ganyu is basically a bow user that's more like a main DPS character, but can be played in many ways. She definitely has more hype than Albedo because she showed up as a story character already. She's also more unique than Albedo in terms of ability. She brings to the table a new ability that we have never seen before, a double charge on your bow. All bow users have the ability to charge their shots, but the double shot that Ganyu does different things depending on what level it's charged at. Holding it down does the standard charge shot that's very similar to what Diona does. Cryo damage upon impact, nothing special to be honest. But if you hold it down further, you'll see a second charge. Upon impact, it's basically like firing a cryo barrel, so like a bazooka or a grenade. It affects the enemies around it. And the second charge explodes, it does more damage than the first shot almost all the time. And that's honestly the biggest selling point for Ganyu. That's the most unique thing she does. She's not the first cryo bow user or anything like that, but that feature alone is what makes it great, because the second shot, if you saw just then, does a lot of charge damage. So in terms of talents, of course the one that you want to level up, of course, is the normal attack, because that gives you the second attack, the charge level 2 one. That's the one that you want to deal with, and that's honestly going to be the attack that you use the most. Sometimes I get so caught up in charging my shots, I forget that I have an E and a Q attack. I'm not even lying to you. That being said, the E attack is still very unique. Basically, this little lotus thing. It's very similar to the bear and bunny, as that it makes enemies attack that. The thing is kind of like a decoy and then explodes. Honestly, nothing special, but it does recharge really quickly. It's only 10 seconds, so that's still reasonable. It's no Chi-Chi, but it's definitely not Albedo either. It's really quick. Her Q attack is this very unique ball looking thing. It's exactly like Amber's again. It's like it basically rains cryo instead of raining fire. Still really nice to have. It does demolish electro enemies really quickly, like this mage over here. It does demolish them really quickly. Because of the high damage output, Ganyu in general is really good against electro characters like these ones here. She's also really good against Hydro characters. So if you're versing the Oceanite, oh, I know you guys love the Oceanite, or like Child or something like that in the boss challenge, she's definitely going to be a really good option, because she basically just deletes them. She just does so much damage on the second shot, it's just ridiculous. Alright, you hear a lot of good things about Ganyu so far, but what is she bad at? Okay, the worst thing about Ganyu is that she's exactly like a typical bow or catalyst user. Her defense is incredibly weak. Ignore my stats, I'm still working on artifacts, stop laughing at my low crit rates, but honestly, her defense is just a lot weaker. You'll find yourself dying a lot quicker compared to everyone else, compared to any other character on your team, so be very mindful. Always bring a healer. I like taking Jean all the time because she heals a huge chunk in one go, and then Ganyu is ready to go straight away. The good thing about the downside about that as well, it just means that if you're fighting pyro enemies, you're going to get demolished. You're gonna die straight away. That means you still do a lot of damage to them, but they can do a lot of damage to you as well, so tread lightly. Alright, let's see who pairs well with Ganyu as well. This is a pretty concrete squad that I always go with Ganyu. Honestly, you can pair her with Chi-Chi as well. It's going to be pretty good, but I just don't like bringing two of the same elements in one squad. I'm just OCD that way. I just don't like double ups. But Chi-Chi is a very, very good choice with Ganyu because it does heal her really quickly. And you do have the double stack of 2 cryo users as well. The healer of my choice instead is actually Jean, just because her heals Ganyu so much quicker. And I hate because she's like my main DPS in the squad. I hate keeping her out of the squad for long. So Jean pretty much gets her back there as soon as possible. Dialogue is a good choice, but honestly you can substitute Dialogue with Klee, which is a very good choice as well. I just like someone with a little bit of a higher defense just in case she does go down. So he is my sub DPS in this case. Mona is an incredible pick with Ganyu. Because of her elemental skill, it allows Ganyu to freeze all her enemies pretty much in one go. So even her elemental skill or elemental burst is a really, really good option for Ganyu. Cannot recommend anyone. Oh, I guess you can have Barbara as well, I guess, but it's not the same when she doesn't really have. There's just somebody to deal water damage everywhere. It's pretty much the best kind of character you want to have with Ganyu because it freezes everyone. Every enemy straight away. Alright, weapons for Ganyu. What is the best weapon for her? For 5-star weapons, definitely go with the Amos's bow. It is part of the weapon banner for the second half of version 1.2. Unfortunately, MiHoYo did not launch a new bow for Ganyu, but hey, the Amos's bow looks great, matches her really well, performs really well. I started playing with the Skyward Harp and I think the Amos bow is just so much better, just because it gives you the charge bonus. But if you don't have the Amos's bow and you have the Skyward Harp instead, the Skyward Harp is by no means a bad bow for her. It gives you that crit damage bonus, it also gives you the crit rate bonus. It's just a winner in my books, if you ask me. Skyward Harp is just incredible too. But if you don't have any of that, you only have 4-star weapons, that's alright, I completely understand. The Black Cliff Warbow is a good choice for the crit damage bonus. The Prototype Crescent is a good choice too, but it boosts your attack instead. Energy Recharge for Vonia's Warbow is okay, not the best. Stringless is a great choice if you do plan on using Q attack a lot. But one bow to definitely stay away from is actually Rust, because it decreases your charge attack by 10%, which is what most of the attacks with Ganyu you're going to do. There is no point increasing your normal damage because she is not the best for normal damage. She is the best for charge attacks. So this is pretty much handicapping you. So I would stay away from Rust. Oh, the big question now is, of course, the easiest one to answer. Should you pull for Ganyu? The answer is big fat yes. Unless you have, I don't know, you hate bows or something like that, or you already have a similar character to her, like, I don't know, a good DPS character, maybe like Tartaglia or even Klee or something like that, and you're saving for Xiao, I completely understand. But if you're looking for a great DPS character today, Ganyu is a very, very good choice. You should definitely snap her up before she disappears forever. If you do miss out on her this time, definitely get her the next time. She's definitely a character to have, which I did not expect. If you watch my previous video, which is the live stream of me finding her for the first time through roles, I thought she was a little bit weak. But if you build her towards a character that you want to play, like most likely going to be charge attack. She's a great option to have. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Version 1.2 is a very big update. Sorry it took so long to cover the characters. This is my first time covering a video like this, making a video like this. If you have any further questions, feel free to comment down below and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have about any of these characters. They're both very good characters, but definitely get Ganyu if you haven't already. She'll definitely be a great character to have on your team. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It does help me out a lot for small YouTubers like me, or really small YouTubers like me. Don't forget, comment if you need anything else. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.